Chinese net users aren't slow to voice their opinions on issues that matter to them, so as usual we start off the show with a selection of top trending online comments that we've selected from just a few of China's most popular web portals. First today, this comes from 163.com and it says, "The US always portrays itself as the angel of justice, but it tramples on human rights in other countries for its own selfish interests. Just think about the suffering in Iraq." Well, the issuing of competing human rights reports by both the US and China each year is the occasion for some intense but generally short-lived political bickering and spats over who is right about what. The US issued its annual report on the human rights situation around the world last week, and in this it criticised China, amongst other countries, for what it said was the routine use of repression and coercion especially for activists and people living in Tibet and the heavily Muslim region of Xinjiang in western China. Just days later, China issued its lengthy report, published by the state news agency Xinhua, and in this it predictably highlighted what it saw as the shortcomings of the US in several areas. The report said the United States would do better to deal with its own problems rather than lambast others, as it had no right to be a world judge. It claimed US military operations had infringed on human rights abroad, while political donations at home had thwarted the country's democracy. The report also cited gun violence in the US among its examples of human rights violations, saying it was a serious threat to the lives and safety of America's citizens. Our poster here siding with the second report, it seems. Coming up next, this is from QQ.com. "Good film directors have become an increasingly rare species. I support Feng Xiaogang." Feng Xiaogang is one of China's best-known movie directors. The relatively outspoken 55-year-old is in the spotlight this time following a recent speech he made after being honoured as Director of the Year by the China Film Directors Guild. Now, in this speech, Feng recalled his 20-year-long career in filmmaking and the demands it made on him personally. But the most controversial statements were not broadcast on mainstream media. This was the section where he bluntly complained about the censorship Chinese film directors have to deal with, saying, "In the past 20 years, every Chinese director has faced one great torment, and that torment is beep."
这20年，每个中国导演都面临着一个巨大的折磨，这个折磨就是。
Well, ironically, that censored word with the beep was censorship, easily seen through Feng Xiaogang's lips. He went on to say, "Many times when you receive the order from the censors, it's so ridiculous that you don't know whether to laugh or cry, especially when you know something is good and you are forced to change it into something bad. Are Hollywood directors tormented the same way? To get approval, I have to cut my films in a way that makes them bad. How did we all persist through it all? I think there's only one reason, that this bunch of fools like us love filmmaking, are entranced by filmmaking too much." And finally today we have this comment from 163.com. "The current situation in China is that we have a society that is angry over lack of information transparency and laws that are never respected." Well, China in this phrase here actually refers to mainland China, the People's Republic, and this comment concerns recent remarks made by Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou. Since Ma began his second term of office, there's been much speculation over the possibility of the beginning of political dialogue between Taiwan and mainland China. The mainland claims Taiwan as a renegade province, while views in Taiwan are mixed over reunion. The two rivals have greatly improved economic and tourist ties over the past decade, and particularly since Ma Ying-jeou took over 5 years ago. At the same time, both parties shelved discussion of their opposing political views. Now Ma has said that the time is not yet right for such a move. He told media that both sides currently have more urgent issues on their plates, but he added that the experience over the past 5 years had proven that cross-strait relations could develop peacefully and steadily, and that to start political talks at this particular point might undo some of that good work. Well, for our poster and nearly 10,000 others on 163.com, it seems that mainland China also has more important issues to deal with before addressing such contentious ones and potentially divisive ones as this. And those are just some of the comments making waves here in China these days. Coming up next on China Take, reaction to that earthquake in Ya'an last weekend.